What is life all about? We're born, we live, and then we die. What happens after all of this? Hey dads, DadBetter here. I'm at Vancouver International Airport and I'm going to Red Deer, Alberta to see my family as my grandmother, my papa, has just passed away last week. And she was 88 years old with dementia and Alzheimer's. And it was sad for us, yet it would be good to be with family and to remember my grandma and celebrate her life. Question I have for you dads is, how do you talk about death with your kids? Our kids have had a situation where a friend from school had passed away, and very unexpectedly, and this was a really sad time for our kids. And it's a good question of how do you discuss these things with kids? Death can be such a confusing and startling concept to grapple with, and we want to be able to explain this in simple ways. They need to know that death is a permanent thing in this life. It's inevitable that everybody dies. Think about how you would put it into words. How would you describe that to your kids? For us, we described that when people die, their body stops working and they're no longer with us. We might be sad, but that God is gracious and that He could be there with them. And that life can be a really precious thing. We want to enjoy the time that we have right now. Your kids may be going through a whole lot of different types of emotions, and it's okay. You want to support them through that. You want to clear up any misconceptions they have, and be patient with them. Be patient with them because this is a new concept. They have to deal with the loss of someone that they're never going to be there again. But there's hope. It's good to have hope through these hard times, and it's okay for you to feel emotions with the loss of a loved one. You can just talk about how you miss them. You're going to miss them, and there is a hope that one day you'll be back together in heaven. You can explain that we live in a world that is broken, and that's why death is here, because God created us with intention, full of life, very good, and yet we've broken our relationship with God, and that's why there is death. That's why there's disease and pain and suffering in the world. And yet God came through Jesus Christ to bring life for all people who would come back into relationship with Him. He wants to welcome us with loving arms. So that is hope in death, that we can share about that with our kids. Perhaps a little bit at a time. Our kids don't have to be paralyzed by death, but can just understand that this is a reality, and it doesn't have to be the end of the story.
You're what I'm counting.
What is life all about? We're born, we live, and then we die. What happens after all of this? Your kids might never have thought that there was a time when they didn't exist. There was a time when their parents didn't exist, and then all of a sudden we were born, and now we live, and one day we will no longer be living on this earth. will no longer be moving around and playing and enjoying fine food. What happens after all this? These are the questions that your kids may be asking when a family member or friend dies. So how do you talk about that?
Outside my door, and I can't shake the onset of my woes. When the stakes are raised, we hold the hand we've drawn. You're what I'm counting. I'm throwing stones up at your window. I'm casting shadows.